The dog was taken from a bad owner and she kept looking into the corner until she came. So she was taken and placed in a shelter. Cassiopeia was very scared. At the shelter, she immediately hid in the corner of the enclosure, turned to the wall and looked at one point. Any movement near the dog made it shake in fear. Volunteers made a lot of efforts to change the situation, but Cassiopeia continued to be afraid and did not make contact at all. Another animal was able to help the frightened dog. Even after almost 2 months of staying in the shelter, Cassiopeia was unable to adapt. She continued to be afraid and was unsociable. After a while, the dog began to allow people to pet him, but in the process it became clear that this was rather a forced action, and touching scared her. Meredith Cole saw Cassiopeia at the shelter and decided to take her home. Problems with the dog's behavior did not frighten her. She was convinced that life at home, care and nutrition would fix everything. Unfortunately, adaptation to the new home was just as difficult as in the shelter. Meredith had a dog at home named Carlito. The woman was afraid that the frightened Cassiopeia would not be able to find a common language with the adult dog and did not introduce the animals for several days. When the owner realized that she was powerless against the behavior of the new pet, she decided to take her to Carlito's enclosure and see if perhaps Cassiopeia would get along better with another dog than with people. The dog was immediately interested in her new friend, but he did not put pressure on her, but simply sat near. Cassiopeia herself took the initiative and began to smell the dog and get to know him. Soon she stopped shaking, and after a couple of hours she was happily playing with Carlito. 2 weeks of communication with Carlito changed Cassiopeia. The dog stopped being afraid of people and became calm and playful. Animals, like people, can experience pain not only physically, but also on an emotional level. Sometimes it takes a lot of time to solve such problems.